Hello and one and all, and welcome to my most anticipated films for this year, 2021. Yes, 2020 has passed by. Thank goodness it is done and over with. Not forgotten, but thankfully it is done and over with. And we have a new year, 2021. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. There's still vaccines going on about, and there's still movies not coming out at the moment. So until I think March, correct me if there's anything coming out, but I will be doing a list on some movies that I'm looking forward to for the coming of 2021, depending if they will come out or not. If they don't, then okay. Sorry, my phone I'm just looking at my list here so I can list them off. Plus, I wanted to do this live because I think, why not? And keep in mind, guys, these are the films that I'm interested in the most. The Batman was originally going to come out this year, 2021, but it's been pushed back to 2022. But hopefully these films will not get pushed back to 2021, 2022. If they do, then oh well. But hopefully we do get at least some movies this year. And I'm sure the pandemic will end at some point this year, I think so. But don't worry, this isn't going to be too much of an important live stream. It's just a video of my most anticipated films for coming this year, 2021. So without further ado, let's get on with the list. And how I do this, guys, I don't rank them. I just do them they're not in a particular order. The majority of these are in date release dates, I think. So yeah, we will go through each one of them. And without further ado, without wasting any more time, let's do this. I have about 15 movies. So, all right, first up we have is The King's Man, which is coming out in March. And yes, this is going to be the prequel to the Kingsman films, Kingsman, The Secret Service, and The Golden Circle. And I would certainly like to review those movies sometime. I would absolutely love to review them at some point. I would love to do some more movies that I've not reviewed yet. The Kingsman films haven't reviewed yet, especially The Secret Service, which is one of my favorite spy films, and I definitely want to review it sometime. But yeah, this is going to be very interesting. This looks like this is going to take place during the war, especially how this is a prequel, and it's containing Ralph Fiennes. Yeah, he is called Rafe and not Ralph, I believe. And this is once again directed by Matthew Vaughn. So I don't really have much to say, but I'm very interested in seeing how The King's Man is going to turn out. All right, next up is a film that I haven't really heard much about, honestly, but I do know this is kind of a superhero-related film. Jared Leto is going to be in this. Matt Smith's also going to be in this. J.K. Simmons is also going to be in this. And Jared Harris is also going to be in this. Next film is Morbius. I have no idea too much about this film. It seems more like a horror superhero comic book type film, if that's where I would put it. But I'll check it out. Why not? Even if it turns good or bad, whatever way, I'm interested in checking it out. All right, next up we have is a film related to a series that you guys know about me. I love this series. I love talking about it, and yes, and one of my most anticipated films for coming this year. It was meant to come out last year, but then it's been pushed back from a year, and that is No Time to Die. Yes, No Time to Die is a film I've been looking forward to for such a long time, because now it's been good lord, it's probably the longest time in a gap since License to Kill between GoldenEye, this time between Spectre and between No Time to Die, which is insane thanks to this pandemic. But I hope we get this film out. You know, I want Daniel Craig to end off Bond with a bang, because this is his last Bond film, unfortunately. But I look forward to seeing how it turns out, especially from Spectre. And I am going to do a review on Skyfall and Spectre, because those are the only Bond films before No Time to Die I have not reviewed yet. I want to get those done and dusted. If No Time to Die for any reason gets delayed, I'll probably delay my Skyfall and Spectre reviews a bit, but I'm still planning to review those anyway, just like I mentioned with the Kingsman films. But No Time to Die, I'm really looking forward to. I love the trailers. It's the first Bond film by Universal Studios, and yes, I cannot wait for No Time to Die. All right, next up we have is a sequel to a beloved horror movie from the 2010s. Back in 2018 it came out, and that is A Quiet Place 2. Yes, A Quiet Place I also want to review as well on my channel before the new one. I think A Quiet Place is probably my favorite horror film that came out last decade. I mean, I love Get Out, I love Us, I love The Conjuring, I love Insidious, but I don't know, Quiet Place was so good. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out. You know, John Krasinski is directing it this time around, and Emily Blunt is going to be the main lead once again. And yes, I look forward to watching A Quiet Place 2. And I'm very curious to see how it turns out with the pandemic. All right, next up we have is the first Marvel film that is due to come out from Phase 4. The films, no, the TV shows don't really count. It's only the movies that count in the phases. And this is the second one after Endgame. The first one after Endgame was Far From Home. And my next up is Black Widow. Yes, I hope to God they do not put this in Disney Plus. I do not want to see this film on Disney Plus. I understand with Soul and Artemis Fowl and other movies, but I really do not see why putting a Marvel movie onto Netflix. I do not want to see that. I mean, yes, this is going to be a prequel because we all know what happens in Avengers Endgame with Black Widow, but come on, I still want this to be in the cinema because this has a spy type, and spy type is one of my favorite, or some of my favorite type of movies and action movies. I look forward to Black Widow, and hopefully we get to see it soon. Next up we have is probably the biggest monster crossover we're getting, and that is Godzilla versus Kong. Yes, I'm not much of a monster guy myself, but I have seen Godzilla and Kong Skull Island. I think they're okay movies. I don't think, oh, they're great movies. They're fantastic. I don't think they are. I think they're okay movies. I think they have problems. They look visually amazing, those films, but the story, especially with Kong Skull Island, was not a big fan of personally. But I am gonna rewatch them eventually. I already reviewed Kong Skull Island on my channel, even though my opinions do change. Because my opinions do change on movies, it doesn't really mean I have to re-review movies again. But Godzilla, the 2014 film, I definitely want to review. But yeah, I don't know if I will see this, depending how the pandemic turns out. It is one of those Warner Bros. Films that is going to be on HBO Max. So yeah. Okay, next up we have is Tom Cruise' newest film, and that is Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise we'll get into in a little bit, but Joseph Kosinski, if that's his name, is directing it. Val Kilmer is back in this film also. Tal Miller is going to be in the film. Ed Harris, and I look forward to seeing this. This looks like to be a Tom Cruise sequel. I mean, not every sequel by Tom Cruise doesn't really turn out very well. Jack Reacher too, but I am interested in checking out this film anyway. I did a review of the original Top Gun from the 80s. If you want to check that out, it's on my channel. But Top Gun Maverick, I'm interested in checking out. Okay, next up we have is oh, there's a film I forgot actually. I'll mention these. I'll mention both of these movies because these are both also in the Phase 4 of the MCU Marvel Cinematic Universe along with Black Widow, and they are the Eternals and Sanji and the Legend of the Ten Rings, if that's what it's called. And the Legend of the Ten Rings, yes. I haven't heard too much about them, but I'll watch them anyway. Again, I hope they don't be on Disney Plus. I hope to see them in cinemas. I mean, I know these are different. These are both different superhero movies to what we've got before, but I still hope we get to see them in the cinema anyway. The Eternals, you've got a pretty cool cast in here, especially Angelina Jolie. You know, which looks like to be another Fantastic Four type of film, which is going to come very, very soon, later on in the years of the MCU. Don't know when, but probably 2023, I think. I'm not too sure, but we will see. And I don't really know too much about these two films. Like I said, The Eternals and Sanji and the Legend of the Ten Rings. But hey, hopefully, as I said, we'll get to see them in the cinema. So yeah. Next up we have is the next DCU film. And hopefully this is better than the 2016 film, despite the fact I originally thought in my original review. But no, it doesn't mean I need to re-review it again. But yeah, Suicide Squad's not that great. But The Suicide Squad, I am interested in checking out. This is directed by James Gunn, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Yeah, Margot Robbie is back as Harley Quinn. You got some other cast in here. You have John Cena. You have Idris Elba. And Peter Capaldi's in this film as well. And Sylvester Stallone as well. Yes, I'm looking at my cast list. Sean Gunn is also in this, along with Taika Waititi. Interesting cast. But the Suicide Squad, I hope, is so much better. I hope it is a good film. I hope it's the better Suicide Squad than what we originally got. So yeah. Okay, next up we have a film from a director who is trying to become already one of the greatest film directors of all time. You know, he's trying to make instant science fiction classics. And if you know who I'm talking about, that is Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Yes, it's hard to say his name, I know. Denis Villeneuve. But yes, I am gonna hopefully review all of his films at some points. You know, he's done films like Prisoner's Enemy, Sicario, uh, Arrival, and Blade Runner 2049. I hope to review those movies. I would love to review all those movies because, oh my god, Villeneuve is starting to become one of the great film directors already. So, yes, he was probably one of the new best filmmakers out there right now, along with Christopher Nolan and David Fincher. So, yes, and I look forward to seeing Dune, how it turns out. You have a very cool cast in here, and oh my god, the trailers look amazing. But yeah, Oscar Isaac is going to be in this film along with Rebecca Ferguson, and again, I look forward to seeing Dune. Okay, next up we have is a video game movie. Yes, a video game movie. Yes, I'm weird that I'm looking forward to video game movies because normally, for the most part, video game type of movies suck. But if you look at Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog, you're on a positive side. Mortal Kombat looks like it could be a good video game adaptation film. We don't know yet what's happening. I think it's a Warner Bros. Film. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if it is, then it's probably going to go to HBO Max. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, don't really have much to say about this one, unfortunately. But yes, Mortal Kombat. All right, next up we have is Ghostbusters Afterlife, the actual sequel to the 80s Ghostbusters film and the second film. I already reviewed Ghostbusters 2016 or Answer the Call, whatever it's called. I'm not a fan of that film. I don't think it's completely trash. I mean, I think, you know, Chris Hemsworth's likable in that film. I think the cast is good in here. But the film overall is just a mess. But the original Ghostbusters films, I hope to review sometime. And yes, because I think the original is a classic. And yeah, the second one I'll also talk about. But Ghostbusters Afterlife, this looks like it actually could be a good sequel. I mean, you have Paul Rudd in this film, and you also have Dana Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Bill Murray, the original cast back, except Howard Raines because he passed away back in 2014. Rest in peace. But yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm very interested in checking that out. All right. Next up we have, which is probably going to be the biggest, maybe the biggest solo Marvel movie ever. Like, this is too big to be a solo movie because, oh my god, 3 or probably more than that carnations of this character. If you guys know what I'm talking about, Spider-Man 3 or Homecoming 3. Oh my god. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, all 3 live action Spider-Mans are going to be in this film. Like, that is just crazy. What's going to happen? This is probably going to be my most anticipated film. I don't know, honestly. The Homecoming films I have a fun time with. They're not amazing films, but they are very, very good. Spider-Man 2 being my favorite one. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, also a good one. Spider-Verse being my second favorite. So yes, this could be the live-action Spider-Verse in the MCU. You know, Doctor Strange is going to be in this film. The love interests are going to be in this film. Jamie Foxx Brock's Elektra's going to be in this from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Hope he's handled better in this film. But again, hopefully we get this film sometime. And please don't put this on Disney Plus. This is probably going to be the biggest solo Marvel film we will ever get. I mean, if you thought Civil War was the biggest solo film, but take a look at this one, especially with 3 carnations of Spider-Man. I hope we get to see this in cinemas. I'm doubting we will. But yes. All right, I have 2 more movies that I want to talk about. Next up we have is The Matrix 4. Yes, this and John Wick Chapter 4 were originally going to come out in the same year, which was this year, I think. But again, due to the pandemic, they've got pushed back. And this film is also by Warner Bros, so it could be on HBO Max. But yes, this is going to be the 4th installment in the Matrix franchise. Keanu Reeves is going to come back. You know, I'm very curious to see how they do with this 4th installment, because let's just face it, the Matrix sequels were not that great, to be honest. Although I actually do enjoy Matrix Reloaded. But yeah, Matrix Revolutions. But I should definitely review the Matrix trilogy sometime. Would love to, actually, because a while back my good friend feature filmmaker did a suggestions of movies that I could review, and Matrix was one of them. Thank you, buddy. But the Matrix 4, very curious to see how it turns out. It could be bad, I don't know, but again, hope we get to see it in the cinema, because Matrix, oh my god, it looks so good. A sci-fi action epic would just look so good in the cinema rather than just watching it on the smaller screen. Oh right, my final film that I want to talk about now. I know people, this has been getting a lot of news lately due to Tom Cruise's row with his crew, saying, "We're not shutting this movie down. We make movies because of us." Yes, if you know the whole news with his yelling at the crew of Mission Impossible 7, then there you go. Oh my god, Mission Impossible is quite possibly the best action film series we've ever gotten. I mean, it's either this or James Bond, but James Bond is probably the most spyish action series. But as far as straight up action movies go, just Mission Impossible, man. You can't go wrong there. I mean, I've pretty much enjoyed every film, although second one was pretty meh. But we all know what happens in the series. It just gets better and better and better. And Fallout might possibly be the best action film of the 2010s decade. And it was my favorite film of 2018, if you've been following me since then. And this Mission Impossible 7 is once again directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who directed Rogue Nation and Fallout, and who's also going to do Mission Impossible 8, which 7 and 8, I believe, are going to be filmed back to back. But we will see what turns out due to this pandemic, and with Tom Cruise, what he did lately. But don't worry, I'm not going to go into too much with that. But yes, Mission Impossible 7, hopefully we get to see it sometime in the cinema. Again, an action film we do not need on a streaming service. Hope it gets to the cinema. So there you go, guys. That was my list on movies that I'm interested in checking out in 2021, depending what's coming out. So comment down below, let me know, guys. What are your most anticipated films for 2021. What do you think is going to come out? What do you think is going to get delayed? Also, list below some movies that you think I've missed, and let me know below in the comments, and let's have a great discussion in the comments below. And guys, if you remember back in my live stream, I was talking about a New Year's resolution that I've been wanting to do, and that is review some more TV shows. My first TV show I wanted to talk about, more TV shows, start reviewing TV shows, that's what I mean. And starting off, I would doing Stranger Things season 1. I'm going to review season 1, 2, and 3. And yes, I'm also going to watch the Disney Plus Marvel shows as well. And you'll see how my channel goes out. But as always, guys, if you're new to my channel, I'm a movie reviewer from the UK. I like to do movie reviews, and I also like to do classic reviews, especially on a special time and when a new release comes out. But as always, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the comment button, hit the like button, hit the share button, and hit the notification bell before you leave. All of my social media links will be in the description below. And as always, guys, until my next video, I shall see you then.